straight up, one, maybe two people were running laundromat literally from our facility when we had a free laundry. So, but boy, oh boy, even we thought we know people and we do careful screening about all our guests. Guess what? They always surprise you.
Because even the basic parks cost a lot to build nowadays. I call them Disney parks because, it's got lazy rivers and big pools and, all of those kind of things that cost enormous amounts of money to develop, and so in turn cost enormous amounts of money to stay at. And so we were trying to do something basic, whether people are just passing through or they, are working in the area for a time. It's economical, but yet trying to keep it neat and tidy and not allowing your park to turn into what some of them can turn into, which I don't need to elaborate on, is challenging too.
July 11th, we got the business visa. Then full-time, we hired a gentleman working with him to finish the park. So everything was fully operational by September the 1st.
There was a monster drainage problem here, and flash flooding that goes on in this state is well known actually throughout a lot of the southern states, and in the springtime this was uncontrolled and it was out of control as a result. So good old Carl French, who hundreds of years ago invented the French drain, and we followed in his design work and put in over 1,000 feet of French drain here on this property, which was no small task, but the water is actually very much under control now and directed to where it needs to go. We're lucky in the fact that we have a very deep creek behind us, so that we could direct the water to it. And but it was very muddy during rainy season here, and needed a lot of work, underground work.
Yeah. So as a park owners, the first thing we've learned is it's not cheap to build a park. And I heard a lot of RVers complaining about, the lot rent being too expensive everywhere. We currently charge $375 per month per lot, and that's the lowest we could go. Just to do quick numbers, right? When we finish the construction, the average lot, the fixed cost per lot to build a park was around $20,000. And that including a lot of work done by yourself, right?
Yes.
You didn't charge it back to the park. The second one is the overhead, right? We are talking about electricity, water, sewage, internet, insurance, property taxes. So for this 20-unit simple RV park, each lot we're looking at $150 per month per lot, right? Just the hard cost fixed. And then of course we have a laundry machines, and that currently we changed from the free laundry to this new coin operated machine.
Yes, the free laundry was an amazing thing to watch. And I watched it before we bought the park and realized very quickly that had to come to an end. I think there's just, there's people that eat an appropriate amount of food at a buffet, and there's people who don't. Let's just say that.
Okay, just to be straight up, one, maybe two people were running laundromat literally from our facility when we had a free laundry, so that had to stop. So we kept the load cost low, like we only charge $1 per load.
$1.50.
Yeah, $1.50
$1 per drive, so
yeah.
$2.50
yeah.
a go.
Just to barely cover some of those, water, electricity, not even, but the machine itself will never be paid off. So we carry that cost as well.
Yeah, that's another big capital expenditure, because $5,000 worth of laundry equipment, at what we're charging for it, it will take half of a decade, and the machines will be worn out at that point in time and need to be replaced anyway. So laundry is not a very good profit center in an RV park, as near as I can tell early on here at this point.
Unless you really charge a high premium, which we don't. We wanted to keep the costs low, right, for our guests. So Another biggest complaint is the metered electricity. So we charge 375, and the people say, oh, why it didn't include the metered electricity, or why didn't include the electricity like other parks? So that was a cautious decision on our side as well.
Yes, yeah. It's a twofold thing with electricity. Some people are very cautious about their usage of electricity. We are. We lived off grid for a long time, so you learn to conserve power when you don't have an actual grid connection. So the other thing is that RVs are horrifyingly inefficient when it comes to air conditioning. These units actually are as inefficient a device that's currently sold on the market as far as electrical consumption goes today. So, in a 30 amp trailer, which typically only has one AC unit, can only consume so much power. A 50 amp rig that has two AC units can obviously consume at least 2 times that. And so, to me, it's just not fair to, include electricity and cost average your bill out amongst all the tenants so that the 30 amp folks can pay the same as the 50 amp folks. Or the people who are very diligent about conserving electricity get to pay the same as people who just leave their ACs run 24/7 even if they're not there. So,
we had a doctor living on our park, and she was so on top of everything, and her electricity bill with even the summer AC on was only $35-40, but
I think her biggest bill was maybe 42
right
in August.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, in September. So it was still hot in September.
And then we had some younger folks that run 2 ACs 24/7, and their bill could be $150, $160 a month. So it would be wrong, right, to average out and charge the doctor $100 when she only consumed 40. And it just we wanted to keep it transparent and fair with everyone. That's why we said, okay, the metered electricity is the only way to go because people are different. Now, the second learning as RV park owners is about people. So how many people we have gone through?
About 50, I would think. In the short time, 5 months, I would think we've had 50 people come and go, whether they were, just overnight or here for weekly or monthlies that converted to weeklies because I ended up working here a little bit longer. And we've had a vast variety of folks, went from retirees to, working people. And
and I like to do analysis. That's what I do in a corporation, right? The first thing is you understand your customer base. So among those 50 plus people, and of course there are some other neighbors we visited, we learned, number one, they are some uber wealthy retirees with a beautiful, expensive rigs. They wanted to enjoy their retirement life, so they wanted to live on a Disney-like kind of RV resorts, which is not our forte. The second group of people are actually family, right? The young couple with 4 or 5 kids living in the camper, and they wanted a playground for the kids. They wanted some swimming pool and all those things. And then the third group, I would say, are extremely low-income families too. Like they don't work, and I think they live off some of the government subsidiary programs, subsidized programs.
Yeah.
And then the group of people we feel most comfortable with are the working people just like us. They go to work every morning 6:30 and they come back 4:30, 6 days a week, and they stay either for a week or for a month depending on the job. And those kind of people, they just wanted to have a very clean, quiet site, no kids running around, no dogs running around, no music play loud every night, right? No parties, and they wanted to have a very clean laundry facility, a functioning, shower. They always have a relatively nice rigs, right? Because they're on road all the time.
Yeah, linesmen, gas fitters, railroad personnel, people that are, have some specialty fields. I wish there was more of them, not just as guests of ours, but as a retired general contractor. I wish there was more people that were becoming
building
licensed
this
trades.
country. Yeah, building the infrastructure. So those people eventually we decided will be our preferred customer base because we don't have the plan to invest further onto this park to build the clubhouse or swimming pool or the playground for the kids. So it won't be as family friendly as some of the families would wish for. And then obviously we don't have all the amenities for the uber wealthy retirees. And then we do need to keep the park running as a business so it can be sustainable. So we cannot subsidize extremely low income couples or families. So in the end we said, okay, we know who we are and we know what we can offer. So that's kind of our customer value proposition. We offer a neat, clean, safe park to hardworking people. But boy, oh boy, even we thought we know people and we do careful screening about all our guests. Guess what? They always surprise you. So as a new park owners, we're really new, 5 months, operating.
Yeah,
in
these
the
are
park.
our learnings to date. I'm sure we could share a lot more experiences in a few years' time. But.
Yeah, so the third learning is as a park owner, you really need to know local laws. Not only the business registration, permitting, septic and inspection, all those things, but laws about
Tenancy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Weapons, use of drugs, dogs, visitors onto the park, and tenancy. Well, sometimes the hardest part is the eviction, right?
Yeah, we have an extensive background in a multitude of countries now. We've done business in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Spring could add another one to the list. So 3 countries for me. But local laws, federal laws are all different, of course. But having owned an awful lot of real estate in our lives and having dealt with tenancy, we chose the RV park construction situation at this point in our lives because, we're at a point where we're semi-retired but want to have something to do, and this seemed to fit the bill because of the exposure to habitated rental properties today. I don't think is worth it anymore personally. It's there can be too much damage done to homes, fourplexes, apartment buildings, whatever it is that you might want to build. But so this seemed like a good fit in the fact that, if somebody doesn't pay or if they're a problem and they're disrupting the other residents that that are here, that how much damage can they really do? I mean, they're plugged into our utilities, but it still bodes to the thing that you do have to understand. I mean, that if you have to evict somebody, you got to know how to do it, and so. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, the good thing about Tyler, Texas, is I think the law enforcement is very strong here, and they respond to anybody's kind of calls, and they are very professional. And so I guess we're gonna keep you guys posted, and if you, whether you are a RVer, whether you are a fellow RV park owners, if you have any recommendations, tips, and to share with us, please comment below, and we would really appreciate your feedback.